Hello, YouTube. This is Mr. Bakari, and today we're going to talk about factoring the sum and difference of cubes. Now, this is something that comes up when you're factoring higher degree polynomials or perhaps finding zeros of cubics. A lot of math courses, this is something that's going to pop up. So let's talk about what this formula gives us. So on the left side in blue, we've got our perfect cubes. We've got the addition of cubes, we've got the subtraction of cubes. And on the right in red, this explains how we break this down into factors. So what this is saying is if you take the cube root of A and the cube root of B and add them together, you have a binomial factor. And then you take A and square it, take the product of A and B, subtract it, and then take B and add that squared. And these two factors multiply to your perfect cubes over here. Okay? Now it's the same with subtraction, okay? But you do have a sign change in here, okay? So with subtraction, it's the cube root of each subtracted together, your binomial, and then you take A and square it. You add the product this time of A and B, okay? And then you add B squared. Okay, so the change up in here is when you add, you subtract the product. When you subtract, you add the product. Okay? And you always add the squares at the end. All right, so let's do some examples. And I have the formula written right here for you. This is the sum and the difference of cubes. So the first thing you're going to have to do is you're going to have to recognize that you're looking at the sum or difference of cubes. And we need to raise this to the third power in order for that to be a perfect cube. Sorry about that. There we go. So x cubed is a perfect cube and 8 is a perfect cube. They're being added together. That's the sum of cubes. Okay. So now let's apply this. We're going to use the first one right here. So I'm going to take the cube root of a cubed, which is x, the cube root of b, which is 2, and we're going to add them. And that's our first factor. Now, for the trinomial, the other factor, we're going to take a and square it. We're going to subtract the product of a and b, which is minus 2x. And then we're going to add b squared, which is 4. And that is the factored form of our cubes. Now, we could check this by multiplying these together. Okay, that would be first times first, first times middle, first times last, second times first, second times middle, second times last. And this, if you multiply correctly, will give you the product x cubed plus 8. Okay, let's try another one. This time we have the difference of two cubes, okay? 27y cubed is a perfect cube and 64 is a perfect cube. It's being subtracted, so we're going to use the difference down here. All right, so the cube root of 27 is 3, and the cube root of y cubed is y. I'm going to subtract, and the cube root of 64 is 4. So that is my binomial. Now for my trinomial, I'm going to take a and square it. So 3y times 3y is 9y squared. And then I'm going to add the product of 3y and 4, which is 12y. And then lastly, I'm going to add b squared, which is 16. And we are done. Okay, let's look at another one. 8x cubed plus 125y cubed. This time we are looking at the sum of two cubes. Okay? The cube root of 8x cubed is 2x. x plus, and the cube root of 125 y cubed is 5y. Okay, that's our binomial, and now we're going to take a and square it. Okay, now remember, this is the sum, so after we square a, we subtract the product of ab. Subtract the product of 10xy. Okay? And then lastly, we're going to add b squared. So that's going to be 25y squared. And there's our factored form. Okay? Let's try one more. This will be a little bit more challenging, perhaps. If you'd like to try this on your own, go ahead and pause the video and we'll go over it. You're ready? All right, this time we have the difference of cubes. Now, what is the cube root of this? X squared, okay? And just to kind of show that, x squared times x squared times x squared is in fact x to the sixth. So this is x squared minus 64, cube root is 4y, okay? And now we're going to take a and square it. So x squared and x squared is x to the fourth. This is subtraction. So we're going to add the product of a and b. So that's going to be 4x squared y or x squared y. And then lastly, we're going to add b squared, which is 16y squared. And that's all there is to it, okay? Of course, just like anything else you're factoring, you want to check for a GCF first. Is there a greatest common factor I can pull out? And then from there, use one of these two formulas and you're good to go. So I hope this helps you out in your math class, and I'll see you next time.